When money crosses my desk, I tend not to ask a lot of questions. Part of the life of a mercenary game designer is to roll with the punches. Then Arknights showed up. Arknights is an elevated Toho fanfiction set in the dystopian hellscape of Greater Gensokyo Xinjiang, where everyone has to live with magical rocks that give you cancer and might eat your soul. You are the DOKTUH, and you must save the world through unethical medical practices, having a love-hate relationship with your bitch wife who wants to kill you for killing Demon Jesus, and having a healthy relationship with your rabbit daughter wife who is going to succeed her and to lead Demon Israel to the promised land. Also, everyone is on a mobile fortress cities due to hellstorms, and everyone's also a furry. Except you. Oh, yeah, well, there's also other entities out there, but getting a little bit bogged down in the lore. I usually like to have a lore rundown on almost everything I do in these games, if only for the sake of clarity. Arknights is a huge, however, and every time I attempted it, I was either informed that it was hellishly out of date, or that the Dragons of Super Ireland started a national revivalist movement and broke free from Lion Britain, who is now in the middle of a civil war that didn't occur 3 months ago because it's only on the Chinese servers. But if that wasn't enough, the commissioner wanted a card game. Alright, a little bit foreign, with a little bit of resolution system that's outside my comfort zone, though this did lead to a clarification of special cards, no less. And to top it all off, they wanted it to be like the game, a tower defense. After screaming into the void for about an hour, I got to work. The system is card-based, to the best of what I had to work with. At its absolute basics, whenever a challenge presents itself, the operator needs to draw a number of cards from their deck and see the result. Open draws are split-second reactions, which a character has a limited number of choices to solve the crisis, often reacting with little more than what they draw. Skills and suit draws require you draw at least one of the appropriate skill cards to actually succeed. There are quite a few of these cards that a character can have. You have your default 4, expertise, force, insight, and valor, but you can also have blanks, which gunk up your deck with fatigue, royal cards that are completely wild, signature cards, which count as 2 skills, as well as your Oripathy cards, which is effectively having rock cancer cards. That means that you're probably coughing up blood and dying than actually accomplishing anything. Character creation is actually based off a life path, being easier to work with in the long run, choosing your race, family, education, career, recruitment, ambition, and whether or not you have cancer. This leads to your custom signature skill. So playing a Wasteland Bounty Hunter may be an expertise/force signature card to represent your nature and your ability to solve things in your unique way. From here, you select a character class with their own combat attributes, because this was a nightmare to work with. Agility, arts, power, and willpower are your main combat skills, which influence various resistances, abilities, and inabilities. With 8 classes, the character could do almost anything required of them. I wanted to make sure that anyone could be anything, but there are some clear favorites in that regard. But let's talk about why you're all here. A little bit of combat. Combat is based off tower defense logic, which means you're going to be throwing some fucking darts at balloons, or in this case, chop up criminals with a sword, you lunatic. Combat ended up being designed around a phase system, progressing down a list, allowing the GM to set a path for the enemies, allowing the operators to plan appropriately around it as well. This leads into the main phases, having all of the enemies move, leading into you making an actions to mow them down haphazardly. Each operator effectively has 2 actions per planning and main phase. Your action is your standard one of the most common being attacking, which you choose a number of targets up to your weapon's hits and register them against the enemies within range. Yeah, no dice rolls or card draws or randomness when combat comes around. It kind of comes with the territory. Strategy actions, though, demand that you burn your cards in your hand, trying to rally allies to make certain checks, recover allies, or just trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. Then the enemies attack. You did mulch them all on the approach, right? If you didn't, they're going to start doing a lot of damage to you unless you have evasion or are burning skill cards to reduce the damage down. If you ever manage to burn through your entire deck, you shuffle, clearing all of the effects on you, getting a blank card, and recovering a little bit of health. From there, it's just building on top of one another. Leveling grants more specializations and abilities, upgrading your special techniques together, or just taking better and better gear, weapons, and everything else to improve your abilities to your max potential. This game was unique, to say the least. I may be underselling some of the work that went into it, but this was not a simple one either. A lot of unknown, untread, and untested things were in this project, but it's done for now. Inevitably, I'll have to come back to it, though. There's 1,001 different interactions that can break if it's not perfectly in sync with one another, and combat unfortunately does have a pendulum effect depending on the situation. If you want to check it out, links are all below. If you like what I do here, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and many thanks to the Rose Islands fundraising board for their continued research into things that don't need to be made. Godspeed, good luck, and have a lovely rest of the day.